announce Jehovah's Kingdom, discuss the kingdom and what it will accomplish. The Awake highlights God's kingdom, the only hope for mankind.
Brother Lawhorn.
So for a very long time, that has been the focus of these magazines. Our principal journal, The Watchtower, is focused entirely on that, talking about Jehovah's Kingdom and what it will do for mankind. So not only have they been doing that since 1939, but it's interesting now that they are the most widely translated and distributed magazines in the world.
And why is that fitting? The Watchtower and Awake said, of any magazine produced by man are the most widely translated and widely distributed. Why is that obviously fitting? Sister Thompson?
Because Jehovah is trying to reach every tribe and every tongue and every nation.
Now looking at paragraph number 3, what are some of the methods we have employed to advertise the kingdom? It's changed over the years. Sister Esposito?
This paragraph reminded me of when Brother Splain mentioned at the district convention that we shouldn't be surprised at our website or the technology the brothers use, because Jehovah's people have always been on the cutting edge. And that's so true, because from early days, we've had the sound cards, radio broadcasts, portable phonographs, then there was that photo drama of creation, and then they even had a portable version of that drama for people who couldn't see it. And now, of course, we've got jw.org, so we're still on the cutting edge.
Now those unique methods, we look back on unusual. Sound cars, or radio station, not that unusual. We don't do that anymore. Portable phonographs and whatnot. Why did we deploy those methods at that time? We don't do sound cars anymore. Why has it changed over the years? What's changed? Sister Clausen?
Back then, there were very few witnesses, and so they had to reach as many people as they could with whatever method they could. But now, with there being so many witnesses, then we don't have to employ those methods. We can go door to door and reach a lot of people.
Brother Hughes.
And the technology has advanced. Our way of getting our message apart, even today with our phones, is quite different from what it would have been years ago. So we don't need it's much easier today.
And with the advent of jw.org in recent years, what is that technology able to do that we've never been able to do before? To this degree. Sister Moore?
It can reach people in lands where our work is banned or restricted.
Yeah, which is amazing. People can now come to us and find us even when it's under restriction. Now we're going to interview a couple of long-time witnesses. I was going to say old-time witnesses, but that's not right. Long-time witnesses. Of course, we all know Sister Morofka and Brother Moore, and both of them have been around the truth for a major part of their lives. And it's interesting to note many things that they've seen change. They've seen things that probably most of us have never seen or done. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. And we're going to start with Sister Morofka. Sister Morofka, when were you baptized?
In 1951.
1951, okay. That was quite a while ago. Now, what's changed, or what experience have you had in the preaching work when you first became a publisher back in the 50s and 60s? What was the preaching work like? What were some of the things that you experienced?
Well, first off, I went out in service with a pioneer. She pioneered forever, and she, of course, taught me some of the things that she did. Well, what we would do, we would prepare about a 5-minute sermon.
5 minutes, not 30 to 60 seconds.
Right. And we weren't encouraged to be brave, that's for sure. And then we carried a cloth bag that had Watchtower and Awake written on them, and we placed the magazines for 5 cents each.
Nickel each, okay, that's pretty, a little bit different.
And then in 1953, we traveled from Chicago to New York City, and we stayed in Tent City. You probably read about it or heard about it. And all the cars that were coming to New York City had bumper stickers advertising the convention and the main talk. And we would see people driving like from California, Mexico, and they all attended for 9 days.
90. This is a Yankee Stadium, right? And then I think the Polo Grounds too. Is that
Yes.
I think we did that.
Well, this was at first we went to the first one was in Tent City,
Okay.
and that was in '53. And yes, that's when that big crowd came
And
that I remember.
And what was the did we have a invitation work like we do now for the convention? We'd invite people to convention. What was the invitation work for the convention like back then?
Well, then this was in 1958, which I had a part in with my 5-year-old son, and we wore what they called placards. And it was on the placard was the message of inviting people to listen to the talk that God's kingdom rules is the world's end near. And of course, people couldn't get away from us because we were everywhere.
So you had these giant signs that you wore, and your son, 5-year-old son wore, and you walked around the cities with invitations, handing them out, and
Yes.
doing it that way.
Yes.
So what was that like?
Different. People couldn't get away from us because there were so many
Sure.
of us, you know.
Sure. Wow, how that's changed over the years.
Yeah.
So can you see the gradual progression of how Jehovah's changing the way we preach?
Oh,
And yet it's still
definitely.
the same in some ways, isn't it?
Well, some, but definitely improved.
Yeah. Well, that's real good. Thank you so much for sharing that. And now, Brother Moore, when were you baptized?
In 1970.
1970. Okay. And so, what have you noticed over the years as far as the preaching work when you first became a publisher, and maybe how it's a little bit different, and how things have changed the way we do it today?
A few things. One was the contribution arrangement. You used to always ask for a contribution. A small contribution was so much. And you had to pay for the literature when you got it at the Kingdom Hall. And I believe the pioneers got it at a little lower rate than the regular publishers, so the difference there was it helped to defray the cost of being a pioneer. At that time, pioneering was 100 hours a month, so it was a lot. And even to be an auxiliary pioneer, or at that time as a vacation pioneer, was 75 hours a month. So,
Wow.
so if you're going to do that, you're going to have to take some time off work in order to be able to get the hours in.
Yeah. So the vacation pioneers were basically putting the same hours that we would call a regular pioneer today. So that's a lot, even more than that. It's just a lot of time that they did that. And what about the presentations, the way we did it, the way we witnessed, we offered the magazines? Is it different?